welcome in. You were speaking with the Meeples Champion, and today we have got a little bit of a different look. We have brought in a new iPad to be shooting off of. We've brought in some umbrella lighting. We've brought in a new snowball mic. It's our first video using all this new equipment. Hoping to see a better quality for you guys as far as my ability to properly light and get the audio up to best case scenario. Video, it's off an iPad. It's going to be better than what I was using for my iPhone before. Wasn't the top quality I was hoping for, but I'm hoping it's still a big improvement. So why don't we jump right out of that, though, and right into what we're here for, which is an unboxing. We have got a game that was lent to us yet again from a friend, and we're just going to crack it open and see what we got. I don't know. So, got our trusty knife here. We've got quite a large box today. A little heavy, but not too heavy. So, as usual, when we do these, it tends to be a nice little combination of sometimes the game I know a lot about, sometimes the game I've never even heard of before. I'm never sure when I get these games in from friends, where these are going to land. But we're hoping today is going to be something I have at least a little bit of an idea about. So, let's see what we are dealing with. Well, we got a lot of plastic. Okay, well, I don't know specifically about the game itself, but I can say that I already know I've heard of the game. The game here is, with expansion, I've got Obsession with the Wessex expansion. I've got Upstairs, Downstairs, and Obsession expansion. I've got, surprise, surprise, Obsession. And it looks like that's the box. So now, I've heard of Obsession. It's actually supposed to be quite highly ranked, but I'm not exactly sure where this one really lands as far as what it does as a game. So why don't we read the backs of some of these and see what we're dealing with. Obsession. Our story. Changes are afoot in Derbyshire, England, where 4 families, all possessed of eligible young gentlemen and ladies, find themselves embroiled in romance and intrigue during a time of optimism. Fortune has recently smiled on these somewhat neglected estates, families with respectable histories that endured hard times in the late 18th century. Now, in the mid-19th, the families Asquith, Cavendish, Ponsonby, and York have coincidentally come into new sources of income and are intent on improving their country estates and restoring their family reputations. The inflow of funds is modest, but there is a new optimism abroad in southern Derbyshire. The envy of this part of the country is Elderly Hall, where Margaret Dowager, Countess Fairchild, and her sister-in-law Ethel reside with a joint income well in excess of £20,000. Only their loneliness living on such a sprawling estate dampens the generous hearts of the 2 widowed and childless ladies. Then, to their delight, they welcome new occupants, the Dowager's dashing nephew Charles and lovely niece Elizabeth, sadly not far removed from tragedy. Their parents, returning from holiday in the south of France, perished crossing the Channel in suddenly ill weather. The death of Margaret's brother-in-law and his lady has brought Charles and Elizabeth permanently to the Fairchild residence, far from their childhood estate in Yorkshire. Of course, the irrepressible Fairchild sisters, a year now removed from the terrible accident, know precisely what is the best medicine for a sad heart: romance. And the surrounding hills are awash in prime matchmaking material. The nearby Derbyshire families all have marriageable children, and the Fairchild ladies have designs. So it looks like the game is set up to be 1 to 4 players. It's 30 to 90 minutes. Ages 14 plus. I'm looking at, it's definitely not one that when you look at the design, you go, oh, that's clear cut. You're obviously doing some kind of a matchmaking game. It's a setup, it looks like, with meeples. It looks like you're trying to build your estates. You have different rooms that you can buy, ladies, gents, staff, butlers. So there's a lot going on here. I'd have to really jump in more, but I'm already seeing it's the 2018 nominee for the Best Small Publisher from the Dice Tower, 2018 nominee for the Cardboard Republic. It's a 3-Minute Board Games Gold Medal game winner. It's got recognition from the One Player Guild, so it's been acknowledged from some multiple parties, one of which is the Dice Tower, which I use as my big sprawling point of who do you recommend. I go to them and I see what they recommend. They're the ones that are my area. Now, if we jump into these 2 expansions, it looks like additional characters and potentially additional boarding rooms and such. Obsession is one that I really want to try. I'm excited this is now in my friend's collection because I will definitely be requesting a play. I think that this game, it doesn't grab me personally as one I would go and spend the money to play, but it's only because I don't really know the game yet. But it's one I was grabbed by the intrigue of how many people have said through different channels that it did look interesting, or they played it and it was fun. So I want to try it and see if it's maybe one that hits for me. It may not. Not everything hits for me that hits for others. It's always that give and take. I'm not sure this is a game that necessarily grabs me by its theme, but sometimes a theme doesn't have to be the full thing. I have had games that have similar themes to this that have hit for me just because the game was well built. So you have to try your best to see what hits and when. But this definitely, for our unboxing today, was a surprise, and I'm excited to give it a try and see where this one lands. Well, thank you for visiting with me for another unboxing. You have been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.